The logarithmic rainbow chart is one of my favorite tools here for CRO. But how does it work? And does it give us any price prediction? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's find out. The rainbow chart for CRO is based on the Bitcoin rainbow chart. And there you can also see we have multiple zones that do give us a bit of guidelines where we are in the cycle. Because as you can see, we do have multiple colors here. And red would be the maximum bubble territory. But then we also have purple, where it does mention, well, Bitcoin is that. The CRO rainbow chart takes a similar approach, where we do have multiple colors that kind of stand for a certain buy or sell area. So here, red, guys, is a territory where you should be preparing to sell, whereas the green zone here, where we're trading now, is actually more of a buy zone. Do note, though, that we did simplify this model because we have only 4 colors, whereas the model for Bitcoin, it notes a lot more colors. Still though, we do have the same fine-grained effect as well for CRO because we do use these dotted lines as well to show support or resistance. And we have that with every color and it is nicely in the middle. So you could say we have 8 colors, but I like to really portray it here with only 4 colors for real. Anyways, enough about the origin of the rainbow chart. How does it work? Like the Bitcoin rainbow chart, we use historic price points of CRO to determine these bands you see on the chart. And that's, I think, also the biggest weakness of this tool, because we're taking a look at historic data, and history is a great indicator to predict the future. But of course, guys, history will not always repeat exactly the same. That's also why if you take a look here at, for example, the Bitcoin chart or the Bitcoin rainbow chart, this was the original chart. This was the original chart. After gathering more data, they created a new Rainbow 2023 chart that fits a bit better. So the more data we collect, ladies and gentlemen, the more we can also see that the rainbow chart will maybe change in the future. And that's the honest truth. That's also why you can see here that the beginning of the rainbow chart, it was a lot more steep. But as we collect more data, we can also see more price heights. Specifically for the CRO rainbow chart, it's very important to understand that we've only had one cycle so far. So this was the 2021 cycle. And therefore, we only had one data point to really work with. And since we only had one data point, you can only see this very, well, steady, I would say, increasing logarithmic trend line. Whereas if you take a look for the Bitcoin rainbow chart, there's a very clear rainbow look to it, right? We got this curvature, this nice curvature. And when we get more data points, more cycles for CRO, I do expect also to have a bit more curvature in this rainbow for CRO. Because it's only the second cycle so far for CRO, I think it's fair to use this current model, especially also because I do expect future growth, because the company that's very much related to CRO, Crypto.com, is also marketing aggressively. And they want to grow their user base, and therefore I do also think that the demand for CRO will grow as well. There is one caveat though, and that's the recent unburn or mint of 70 billion additional tokens. I honestly don't know how this will affect the prices of CRO going forward, because there's not much clarity yet how they will use the additional supply. But okay, I will make sure to follow along, so don't forget to subscribe, of course, by strapping in here and hitting the like button as well. But let's talk a bit more about prices, because how can we use those rainbow charts for actual price predictions? Well, guys, let's talk about that after a quick word from today's sponsor. AgentFun is an AI launcher on the Cronos chain, and you can easily create your own AI agents like I am doing now with the AI Baron. Make your own profile with also your own description and lore, and also decide how you actually want to interact as an AI agent. What kind of chats do you want to send to your people? You can interact now with X, Telegram, and also Discord by actually buying in with AgentFun. Create your own agent now and win up to $100 until the 9th of May. Link in the description down below. Anyways, let's get back to the rainbow chart to see how I use it to determine price movements or to get price predictions. And I think it's already immediately clear that every time we hit a solid line or a dotted line, there's some type of price reaction, either to the upside or to the downside. And maybe if you zoom in to the most recent times, I think we have a nice example here, because we've had a test to the lower logarithmic trend line here and we bounced up. We've had a test to the lower logarithmic trend line and we bounced up. And now also again, we have a test at the lower logarithmic trend line, and we're bouncing up most likely, at least. That's so far what history has shown us, at least. But what's also interesting is that we go up to either the next line here or to the dotted line. So these guys are the most important support or resistance levels of the CRO rainbow chart. Moreover, what's important to note here is that I do not expect us to go outside of the rainbow chart. So you can see we stay between the red and the green zones. And we've seen a few attempts to break out of the green zone, but so far those were only wicks. I do not think they are very much significant here. So we tested it already a few times. And you can also see that even though it might seem that we're going back to the green zone time and time again, it's also important to note, because what we mentioned in the beginning, those are logarithmic charts. So this was at about 5 cents, while now we're very close to 9 cents when we're testing this logarithmic trend line. So every time, guys, we go back to a certain zone, doesn't mean we're going back to the exact same price. These prices are only getting higher and higher and higher. And that's also, again, in line with what we think with constant adoption and also increasing demand for the token. Anyways, according to the rainbow chart, I do expect in the relative short term to see a bounce for CRO up to at least the next band here in the blue zone. So that would mean about 17 cents. But of course, I can also make a prediction for the longer term, for really the whole cycle. And I think therefore this tool is more relevant than for the short-term price predictions. So I do expect us to go up to at least the red band here. The red band starts at about $1 near the end of 2025 and ranges up all the way to about $4. So of course, this is a massive range, but it's also due to this being a logarithmic chart. And this also accounts for a potential bubble, because if Cronos gets suddenly very, very popular, it can start ranging up very, very quickly once more. In my personal opinion, $4 is about much, because then we're talking about a 40x, but I'm not counting it out entirely. If you would ask me though anything, I think we might go down one range here. You can see we also have a line, the dotted line here, that goes to about $2.50, and I think that sounds a lot more reasonable. And also, if you take a look at what Bitcoin has done so far with its rainbow chart, it hasn't always managed to go back to the red band. So guys, it is possible that we go down one band as well in this cycle, like what Bitcoin has shown us back here in 2021. I hate to bring it to you guys, but unfortunately, there is no single tool out there that will give you an exact prediction for CRO in the future. But what I like about this tool though is it gives you ranges, and every range you can make an actionable item. So for me personally, if you go into the green, guys, I will make sure to buy as much as I can. So if I DCA, I will double DCA in here. If you go into the blue zone, I will not DCA as much as I did previously. Then if you go into the yellow zone, I will start to make sure I start unstaking my CRO, so it becomes more and more flexible. And once we enter the red zone, it doesn't mean we enter and I will start to sell it all, but I will at least start to think about, hey, I might sell a piece of my bag here. And every time I go up a bit more, I might sell more and more and more. All in all, the CRO rainbow chart is a very handy tool to have in your toolbox, because it has proven us right time and time again. There might be one little problem though, and that says this tool is only exclusively available here on the channel. So you cannot go to TradingView and open up the rainbow chart yourself. So the only thing I can say to you guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, because I will make sure to update you guys whenever we cross a certain rainbow zone. So guys, that's it. If you have any questions though, let me know in the description down below. And if you want to see more, for example, about the 4-wave cycle theory, check out this video as well.